What's up, fellow Vengeant Cascade abusers? It's Teak, and I'm finally back with another set of cemetery farming videos. That's right, thanks to Zizaran donating his supporter creation to the fellow that brought us the Brothers Stash card, we now have another card that drops from the cemetery, Brothers Gift, which can be traded for 5 divines. Cemetery div farming's finally back in full force. In this set, I wanted to try out a bit of a low investment pack size strategy, and after getting a set of maps ran with Searing influence, I made the decision to also include a set with Eater influence so I could get a better handle on which one suits the strategy better. So to kick things off, I'm going to go over our Atlas tree and then break down some of the decisions that need to be made with the strategy, and then we'll get into the spreadsheet and go over the revenue breakdown for both sets. So our strategy revolves around getting a little bit of pack size without going into grand design. So to do that, we're going to be grabbing Shaping the Valleys here for some extra quant and pack size if we craft Fortune Favors the Brave on the map device. We are also going to be taking Growing Hordes so that converts our Scarab effects. Instead of granting the Scarab effects, it's now going to give us some increased pack size. We're also running Magic pack size compasses and pack size in your unidentified maps for the maps that we corrupt into unidentified, which ended up being, I think, about like 25 maps or something like that out of 96. So it's not too bad. As for mechanics we're blocking, we're going to be getting rid of everything besides Heist, besides Expedition, and besides Sacred Grove, obviously, because we don't want to block that stuff. We would like to run that. That's what the strategy is all about. So don't block that. I would also highly recommend not blocking Heist. It's basically, if you select this node, you're never going to get rogue markers, contracts, or blueprints, which do add up to be like at least a decent amount of profit, as you'll see in the spreadsheet. It does definitely add up. It's not insignificant, that's for sure. For our additional our bubblegum league mechanics here, we're going to be grabbing strong boxes. So we got secret ops, we have the +1 guaranteed strong box at the bottom, and then we have our strong box wheel up here for a higher chance to get Arcanist strong boxes and to duplicate currency. If you have extra points, especially in the Eater side, where you can grab these diviners ones. I think that's what that's what I would definitely do if I didn't if I wasn't trying to keep it consistent across the board for both sides in this strategy. So on this side, we're grabbing our Eater influence here, so we grab everything. We also grab our chance to encounter altars, just so our altar income is higher, and in turn we can get more quant from our altars. And our 3 core league mechanics, let's say 4 core league mechanics. Our first one, we'll go over Alva. So for Alva, we're keeping it pretty simple. We're grabbing these 4 over here so that we can get an extra incursion in each one of our maps. We are also grabbing this wheel right here, and this will help us build better temples. So we're looking for the tier 3 gem corruption chamber and tier 3 corruption chambers. So I believe it's called Doriani's Institute and Locus of Corruption. Those are what we want to build towards because they offer the most profit. So these 2 nodes here will help us out in that. I kind of look at incursion like a League of Legends layout, right? So in the top right we have top side, in the bottom left we have bottom side. So if we kill the boss in the top right, it's gonna upgrade that room. If we kill the boss in the bottom left, it's going to swap the room to something different. So these 2 nodes help us. This bottom node here has a chance, if we kill the one in the top right, it has a chance to add an extra rank to that room type. And if we kill the one in the bottom left, it takes the rank from the one in the top right. So say you have a level 2 room and it's terrible, and the bottom left option is to swap it over to a corruption chamber. Well, now the rank from the top right will transfer over when you switch it to a corruption chamber. So that's definitely high value. Anytime you're running Alva to create temples, you want that stuff. All right, now that we're through the Alva stuff, for blight, we're just grabbing this wheel over here on the left for epidemiology. So that'll give us lucky blight chests and better chance to contain some blighted maps. We're also grabbing up here blight spawn, so a chance for our chest to drop an oil extractor and oils to have a chance to be 1 tier higher. So our small nodes also contribute towards this as well. And oil extractors about 9C each, so 10% chance for a chest to contain an extractor definitely adds up. I think I ended up getting like 18 or something like that, so it's almost a divine just in that itself. All right, so for our harvest stuff, at the top here, we're grabbing our Heart of the Grove cluster. We're also grabbing Doubling Season over here. We're grabbing this wheel right here. Hold on, let me put the Indian. So we're grabbing this wheel right here, so for Bumper Crop and Bountiful Harvest. And then we're taking our harvest chance over here with Call of the Grove. I can't remember if I said that already, but it's fine. So basically what we're doing is we're trying to increase our quantity of life forces that we get, as well as the amount of times we encounter the harvest center maps. So that's the logic behind taking those points. And lastly, for Expedition, we're grabbing this wheel up here for extra chance at getting logbooks, as well as more monster markers. Getting more monster markers is the most important part of Expedition, so this note is always pretty essential. And then we're also grabbing Expedition chance down here at the bottom. And then this wheel over here, this wheel will help us with our expedition, so we have more remnants, which means that we have a higher chance to get, like, say, logbook remnants, or, you know, divination card remnants, or stack deck, not divination, currency remnants, whatever it may be. And then Distinguished Demolitionist just gives us explosive radius and more explosives in our map, so it allows us to cover more of the area, get more remnants, get more logbooks, get more currency, etc. Pretty self-explanatory. So that does it for the tree. We'll jump over into our spreadsheet, and we'll go over some of the our revenue and our profit made from our both of our sets. I'm not going to go too ham on comparing the two spreadsheets. If you want to take a look at them, there's tabs along the bottom here. So we have our set 1, and I'll rename this one to set 2. Right now it's a copy of set 1, but it's obviously it's set 2. So we have our Atlas trees at the top. So our difference in our Atlas trees, like I said before, is we're just running Searing on this one, and then we're running Eater on the second one. We also have that 4% Expedition node, which is kind of insignificant. Doesn't really matter. So at the top, I updated our Chaos price. If you want to, you can come in here. Let's say Chaos go up to 250. You can change the value to 250 here, and everything in the spreadsheet will be reflected. But for right now, we're sitting at 220. So we'll set that to 220 for now. So at the top here, you can see our investments, and that includes everything, including a full tree reset. So just, you know, I think is relevant information. You're going to be spending 132C if you have to regret out your whole tree. We have our cost to roll the maps. We have our cost to buy the maps. I bought them from TFT for 4C each. We have our Alva cost. I crafted it. I used master missions for Alva, but I included the cost anyway. This should be 1.25, not 1.2. Anyway, let me edit that really quick. So we have our cost of all of our investments here, and changing the values in these fields here will change, like I said, the totals. So let's say you're buying it for 400. Now we have a 91 divine investment cost, but obviously you're not. So everything in this spreadsheet is set up to reflect based on the investment costs. So if you want to tinker around with those stuff, just make a copy of the sheet. I believe it's just file make a copy or something like, yeah, file make a copy. You can edit the sheet to your heart's content. So in the second section, in our revenue section, we have a breakdown of everything that we made from the sheet, from the set. So you can see our oil counts, you can see our blighted map counts, how many cemetery maps or other maps we got, our invitation totals, our currency, expedition stuff. If you look at the chart on the left here, you can see a breakdown of exactly what drops from expedition. Same with heist. You can see what dropped for heist stuff, which is why we don't block it. Like, look, this is over divine and heist stuff that we would have lost out if we would have blocked it. And then Alva temples. Alva temples is super worth right now. Like, look, you can see 900C from this set, 900C and 48 maps, pretty good. Especially since we're not investing that many points on our Atlas. So going down a little bit further, you can see our totals. So our totals for this set here, we ended up making 19.94 divines without Alva and 23.4 with Alva. If the the costs of running stuff are a little bit higher or anything like that, I'll probably change it over the next coming days, but I'm not going to keep the spreadsheet updated indefinitely. So if you want to do that, like I said, make a copy and change the values yourself. But as far as our revenue, 28 divines, we invested for a little over 4.5. So we're sitting at right now a 23.47 divine profit with Alva. And then you can see our revenue per map. So 128C made per map, which is just a little over half a divine. And then our cost per map was 21C. So our total profit per map is 107C. Screenshots of loot down at the bottom here. And then time-based totals. This section, I hate this section. I always hate going over this section. I think if somebody tells you, like, man, I'm making 20 divines an hour, it's relative to their build, right? Relative to how they play, what strat they're doing, like how much time each individual part of that strat takes. As far as my build goes, I definitely overestimated this. I think it was closer to 4 minutes, and that's like longer maps. So it could take anywhere from like 3.5 to 5.5 minutes, depending on, you know, how annoying the blight is, or, you know, whether an abyss spawns and I'm like chasing it around, or whether it goes backwards or whether it goes forwards in my progression of the map. And this was also full channeling Crucible, so sometimes, you know, you get some kind of annoying Crucible mobs with like cycling damage reduction or whatever. So it's definitely gonna fluctuate, but like I said, it's really subjective. I add setup time, so total time plus setup, I add 40 minutes. So our total time in maps, 228 minutes. Our total time with setup, I added 40. That's definitely an overestimation. I spent like maybe 10 minutes buying and selling and re-rolling maps. And then hideout time in between maps, very, very low when I run them. So honestly, like, this is definitely higher than 5.26 divines per hour. But like I said, take this section with a grain of salt. So that covers our first set. Our second set, same thing. Everything broken down here into sections. You can see what dropped, what we made from each of those drops. Screenshots at the bottom again. We have our time-based stuff. We have our investment and our profits here. So in this one, we were at 29.5 divines. We ended up with 25, just slightly over 25 divine profit, if you include Alva. And then our cost per map, revenue per map, and stuff like that's down here. So that takes care of both the sets. And lastly, I want to go over the Atlas point breakdown. This is a kind of an experimental type thing that I like to do with each of my strategies. So we're taking our total encounters and we're breaking down our revenue, our profit. No, this would be our revenue. We're breaking down our revenue based on Atlas point cost. So as you see here, we're calculating our expedition logbooks. We got 16 logbooks, total value of 552C. It cost us 15 points. We invested 15 points into the Atlas. So our profit per map here, and then our profit per map per point. Excuse me. So our total profit per map for expedition is 12.91, and we're just taking our total, we're dividing it by our maps. So 12.91 Cs, 13C per map from expedition alone. And then our point breakdown breaks that down even further into how much we're making per point we're investing. So as you see here, Alva is insane. We're making 23.5 chaos per map on these sets. Our profit per map per Atlas point is 2.35, which is, I think, the highest I've seen, maybe even like by an entire chaos. So Alva's super value right now. I've run your Alvas. I can't stress it enough. I've made a video on it in the past. Run Alvas, especially like 3 weeks into the league and beyond. Alva is so good. If you got those missions, run them. And for early game strats for next league or whatever, stock up on Alva missions. Run them when the profit goes up. You'll thank me later. You won't regret it, I swear. So Harvest here. Again, Harvest, pretty good chaos per map. In terms of relative to the Atlas points, not very good. Actually lower than Expedition, way lower than Alva. But our profit per map is good. So in relative to time, if we're spending 4.5 minutes or whatever, our profit is really, really good there. So Alva and Expedition are really high for that. Or sorry, Alva and Harvest are really high for like profit per map. Which if you have limited playtime or whatever, you're not trying to squeeze as much out of your investment as possible, those are definitely the best, the best, like, relative to time spent, but not relative to Alva's investment. And then we have blighted maps. I didn't count exactly how many oils, but I did count the cost, like the value of the oils. So our total blight value is 916. Our profit per map was just under 10 chaos, so 9.5 chaos. We invested 9 Atlas points, so that's just over a chaos per Atlas point. And you can see, relative to how many Atlas points we're investing, it's better than Expedition and Harvest. However, profit per map is lower, so take that as you will. You can see at the top here, this doesn't include travel nodes, so again, you'll have to factor that in if you actually want to see the value of, traveling to a specific set of nodes. But I like to do this just to get an idea of what's going on. So that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go over anything else really. That's pretty much all I have to say. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any comments, drop them in the comment section. If you want to stop by my Discord, there's like a few of us in there. We're talking from time to time. I'm always available for questions, or if you just want to, shoot the shit or whatever, just hop on in. I'll leave a link to everything, including the spreadsheet and stuff, in the description. Yeah, that takes care of it. Hope you have good luck. Take it easy.